to the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series Europe Premier League, round of 16, and we are almost at the half-distance marker. Yes, that's right, we are almost halfway through our 4 groups of the WCS Europe. Can't believe it's already gone this far. So, we're on to our deciding match. It's going to be a cracker. It's going to be BabyKnight versus VortiX. That's come in just a moment. I also want to remind you as well that after this show finishes, we'll take a 10-minute break, and then when we come back, we have our behind-the-scenes, slightly awkward, a little bit cheesy WCS extra. Blizzard employees, please don't tune in, because I'm not going to do the naked thing with no shirt, but trust me, there could be a Bumblebee costume in it. Not tonight, but on Friday. That's all coming up with a bit of fun after this particular production. Before that, though, let's catch the brackets and show you exactly how this evening has unfolded, because it has been absolutely unbelievable. So, brackets right now show us that Happy has already qualified for the round of 8. He is guaranteed that place. And we also know one other thing in that bracket, which is quite extraordinary, frankly, and that is that Naniwa has not qualified for the round of 8 and will be down into the Challenger League. I can't actually believe I'm even muttering those words after the stunning second place at DreamHack recently. Instead, we have Denmark's BabyKnight against Spain's VortiX, one half of the Duran brothers, going head-to-head with the Dane. It's time to send you over to our commentary team for this final game. Who goes through? Apollo and Kalaris.
Thanks very much, Paul. Now it all comes down to this in Group B. BabyKnight versus VortiX. They haven't played each other just yet in this group, but this is going to be a close one. 2 players that have made their name through WCS last year, this year. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be see who can advance with Happy. Veto is going to be happening in a couple of moments. And the last time these guys played in televised matches was during the WCS Europe Finals. And VortiX was able to take the victory 2-1. They haven't met each other since. So for VortiX, he goes in with a little bit of, I don't know, an advantage. But BabyKnight's been stepping up so well recently. It's really hard to fully equate that. VortiX isn't a player that's going to lose to too much aggression, I don't feel. He showed it previously. Yeah. So BabyKnight is going to be... I'm interested to see how BabyKnight's going to take the approach to playing as VortiX, if he's going to drag it on long or not. Neoplanet S being eliminated here by BabyKnight, I think that's a strong pick there. Yeah, strong pick. 2 base aggression from Protoss is pretty much a foregone conclusion on Neoplanet S. Getting that 3rd base, hard to do. Akalon Waste goes away for VortiX. He wants as open a map and as exploitable a 3rd as possible, so Akalon Waste has to go. I suppose Star Station next for BabyKnight, I'm not too sure. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Newkirk Precedent is the one he gets to get rid of. Yeah, has to go as well. Star Station in there. I don't think VortiX is going to eliminate it. No, and I think he may have eliminated... whoa, he actually eliminated Whirlwind there. I thought you might have been quite happy about that, but... Bel'Shir, Vestige, Daybreak, Star Station. Pretty decent all-round map pool there, I'd say. And if my lip-reading skills had to guess, I think maybe Bel'Shir Vestige will be the first map. A lovely handshake there with grins. How mannered. Oh boy, this is going to be a good series. Yeah. Nothing but exciting times here at WCS, Europe Premier League. We bring you the entertainment. That's right. BabyKnight, let's see if he can continue his magical run so far. I mean, if you look at those 3 games, those initial 3 games that we talked about so much earlier on, Grubby, Stefano, and then Naniwa. Yeah. That's incredible. He did drop down versus Happy, who, in respect, is playing pretty damn good at this point. Yep. Let's see how BabyKnight can do against Zerg and against VortiX here. BabyKnight here, even. He came into this group and he's come out the round of 32 looking phenomenally strong. He took that victory over Stefano in the round of 32. VortiX, for the longest time, has been the pretender to the throne in terms of that very top spot as a Zerg in Europe. And now can he prove here that he can do one better than Stefano and defeat the BabyKnight? Yeah, maybe. And it's, I mean, BabyKnight currently, as you can see, just warming up. He's not actually playing the game, don't worry. Hasn't started yet. On the other hand, though, VortiX, you make a good point. VortiX, if he goes through today and continues to do well, can claim to be one of the best players in Europe now, officially. Yeah. Stefano still has got a pretty strong grasp on that title at this point. Nurcho's dropped off from results so far. He hasn't been performing as well as we'd expect him to in Heart of the Swarm, but VortiX is a player that came in today
relatively unknown when it comes to how well he's playing in Heart of the Swarm. He's done well in a couple of games online, in some team matches. He did do okay in the WCS round of 32. He went through Monchi and Daishi, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So he did perform well there, but today's his true test. He's already taken down Naniwa. He said in his post-game interview, if he can beat Naniwa, who's a pretty good player, then he's going to be doing okay here.
Yeah, he may be doing so. BabyKnight here, though. Again, he's proved his mettle against Zerg. And at this point in the groups, in Group B, a Protoss and a Zerg facing off for one spot in the round of 8. If we have our Zerg player, VortiX, advance, that means we have 2 Zergs and 2 Terrans in the round of 8. However, if BabyKnight is able to advance, the first Protoss there in the round of 8 will be him. So he's playing not only for the pride of Denmark and the position of a guaranteed spot in Premier next season, but he's also fighting for Protoss pride here to be represented in that final bracket.
Yeah, you bring up a really, really good point, actually. There was only 4 Protoss players in the round of 16. One's been eliminated.
Yep.
That leaves BabyKnight on screen, Sase and Feast. Not too many. 4 into 16's not a high Protoss count, especially considering the first one's already gone out, leaving 3 remaining here. Are we going to have a lack of Protoss players in the further rounds at this WCS?
We'll have to see. Sase and Feast have very strong opponents as well in their groups. Groups C and D are astronomically stacked. So, and those are going to be unfolding for you not only tomorrow, but also on Friday, as we bring you all of the round of 16 this week. And BabyKnight and VortiX here, just getting geared up and good to go. The important ritual of checking your Twitter before you get into the game.
That's right, got 61 retweets on that.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, I saw it as he gets ready, Team Liquid 2. What's he doing now?
He's going to check.
What's he doing? You best not load anything naughty. Oh, he's looking at Naniwa.
Oh, hello. Hello.
Oh, little does he know that we're spying. What's next?
Little does he know.
Little does he know.
Wait, oh!
Teasers.
Production, what is this?
Teasers. This is the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series, Kolaris. That's what this is. As both of the players, as you can see, getting ready for their game.
Yeah, seemingly so. VortiX may be checking the strategy forums on Team Liquid, getting those builds in order.
That's what, from a long distance, he would have hoped everyone was seeing the strategy forums, ready to take on BabyKnight, not what we actually saw. BabyKnight, though, I wonder which way I would swing the predictions here. It's very difficult to call. Both of these players are aggressive. We saw VortiX. Actually, both of these players try to all in, try to bring down Happy, if you look at it, in the earlier stages. But going up against each other, both aggressive. But I feel that VortiX just deals so well with immortal pushes. I think he dealt with one incredibly well against Monchi. A couple of them maybe against Monchi in the round of 32. We saw what he did against Naniwa as well. So I'd be surprised if BabyKnight tried to be super ultra aggressive here. He might have to try to play this one for the long run.
He may have to. First map, Bel'Shir Vestige. It's one where you can get that third base a little easier in comparison to other maps that have A been vetoed or B remain. As Naniwa, sorry, I keep saying Naniwa. It's kind of got stuck in my head after all of these shenanigans that's been going on today. BabyKnight. He has a lot of tricks up his sleeve in terms of this matchup. He's already done it well against Stefano in the round of 32. Now he has to vanquish another very strong Zerg in the form of VortiX.
This is going to be a good series, no matter which way it goes here. Only one of these players can move on. Only one of these players can move on. It's either going to be the Spaniard, or it's going to be the Danish player within BabyKnight here, as the game is finally ready.
It's going to be good, man. This is the final series of the day in the round of 16 Group B. VortiX versus BabyKnight. Let's jump into Bel'Shir Vestige, as we have spawning up to the top left-hand corner as our red Zerg. Give it up, ladies and gents, for Caronte VortiX. Second at WCS Europe. He's done pretty well for himself across WCS. And 5th through 8th at the World Championship. That was an absolutely insane performance. And spawning down to the bottom right as our blue Protoss representing Na'Vi. He goes by the name of BabyKnight. 9th through 16th of the World Championship. Not quite attaining the heights of VortiX here, but still making an absolute phenomenal name for himself here in WCS EU.
Yeah, VortiX in that tournament actually went through his brother, as usual, in the round of 16. Narrowly lost to Creator. who went all the way to the finals, and it was a 3-2 loss. So pretty decent result showing in Wings of Liberty against Protoss.
And to a point that you just made there, if both VortiX and Luciferon do advance onto the round of 8, then they'll probably be drawn up against one another, let's face it, there in that first round in the round of 8. And it's actually important to note that before we get into this game, is that the drawings for the brackets are... they're not as simple as we have them outlined currently on like Wikipedia. Basically, they are drawn random and one going up against 2 in each of the respective groups, or at least 1 and 2 can't meet each other from each group. So you can't play against the player you played in the round of 16 until you get to the final. So those are yet to be drawn. They will be drawn after the group on Friday, and you can watch that all unfold.
I'm sure it'll be live, just like the round of 16 drawings. Gateway expand for BabyKnight. Taking a page out of Naniwa's book here. Over to the spawning pool hatchery first. So, BabyKnight, I wonder what his follow-ups are going to be from this. He's got double gases, the Zealot's coming down, or the double gas just now coming down. Zealot getting chrono boosted out. Which means he's going to be building another one. Going for 2 Zealots here. That's a bit of pressure from the get-go. He's going to... obviously, the 4 Zerglings that are going to be out initially, or is it just 2? I think it's just 2 at the moment. Yeah, it's just 2. So, obviously, 2 Zealots beats 2 Zerglings. Going to put a bit of pressure on. It's going to allow him to fall back with these Zealots as well. Put a bit of pressure on with the Mothership Core when they joined forces together.
Mothership Core helping out quite a lot, indeed, as that'll head over. And it's already rallied over, so all is good. And that Warped Gate tech on the way as well. BabyKnight opening up with this Gateway expand is actually something that Naniwa tweeted out about, you know, he had a lot of complaints that nobody was able to make it work, then told them to just stop doing it if you can't make it work. But BabyKnight... He's one of those players that can make it work here, so VortiX has to be careful.
And there's a Nexus follow-up. So double Zealot Mothership Core into the Nexus. 2 Zerglings are there, so going to be a bit of a hindrance considering there's nothing at home. Everything's across the map, so he's going to have to micro his probes well. Chrono boosted Sentry to deal with it.
Important stuff. Doesn't want to lose a probe here. If he did to 2 Zerglings, then that is a little bit of a tumble there for BabyKnight. We'll try and continue microing on, but that... Oh, he does get the probe there with those 2 Zerglings, so good control by VortiX. Slightly slipped there by BabyKnight.
But it won't matter if he picks off a Queen here. Where's Time Warp?
True. That is true. The Time Warp goes down. He's trying to shred up the Zerglings. They go down quickly. The Queen is still under threat. He's chasing it around. And the second Queen pops.
He should be able to get it. He needs to target the other one. Wow. And he is targeting the other one. Nice pick off. He's going to try and grab a couple. Look at the trade-off here. 2 Zealots and Mothership Core. Good surround by the drones, but, I mean, good surround. Yes, it's fully surrounded, but they're all going to die.
Oh, the Mothership Core does end up falling to that Queen. The Queen does not fall as well. Did he get any workers? 4 workers in total for BabyKnight.
And a Queen. For 1 probe trade, remember?
Yeah.
So that's a really nice start here for BabyKnight. He's got his Nexus down. And I think VortiX kind of underestimated that assault.
Seemingly so. Seemingly so. With this Nexus fully done and good to go for BabyKnight in terms of that worker count. It's 25 right now to 28, and the double evolution chambers already go down for VortiX.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing the Ultralist style come out in this game. Double melee upgrades, I suppose, as these Lings do walk in. A single Forceful is good enough. Actually, not good enough there. It can walk past, but with 3 sentries, doesn't want to just go ahead and lose all his Zerglings. Can't really be replacing them at this point. But as mentioned, I think that VortiX is actually quite a fan of the Zergling style over into the Ultralists eventually here. 3-base Ultralist. But the thing is with VortiX is he doesn't actually go 3-base. I said 3-base Ultralist because that's where the strategy actually originated from. But it's going to be like a 4-base Ultralist. He's going to be going quite fast for his expansions. In the previous game, we saw that too, taking a 4th and 5th base at the same time. He does like to expand quite fast here. And that means that he won't just have 1 big attack. It means he'll be able to have quite a bit of longevity in this game.
And the question is for BabyKnight is that how quickly does he spot this? How does he scout this out? If he can, then there's theorizing that some Protosses can try and deal with this quickly with something like Zealot Archon and try and push across the map. Because if you're just going Lings the entire mid-game, you can't do anything against a Zealot Archon composition. It's guaranteed impossible. So VortiX has to buy time. He has to deny scouting. He has to be very, very strong in the middle of the map.
Well, you bring up such a good point is how is BabyKnight going to identify what he's playing up against? And this Hallucinated Phoenix is coming in. And it sees double evolution chamber and a Roach Warren. Note the Roach Warren here. That's misleading. It's there to be misleading. the way that Protoss players are really identifying this is that Roach Warren researching anything because it actually moves. So I wouldn't be surprised if he sent another one shortly after because he hasn't got the robotics filter. He's got no other way to actually scout. And I think he actually... Oh, that's a Mothership Core, sorry. Mothership Core on the left-hand side. This is going to be interesting. We have +1 attack and Twilight Count, so if he doesn't get a Robo... Okay, there it is, so never mind.
Yeah.
But VortiX is playing mind games, and BabyKnight 100% has to read into this, and so far he has not.
Yep, Zergling's poking at the front here, having a little bit of a look around. I think he just saw the Robo, so that's a good scout there from VortiX. He knows exactly what he's facing off against. He sees the Twilight Council as well. He has all the intel he actually needs right now.
I wonder if that's a big enough move for VortiX seeing the Robo and Twilight Council. He knows the Stargate isn't there. I wonder if he's got what it... You know, got the balls, you could say, to go Spire play here. Because obviously, you know, yes, Blink would be in there, but there wouldn't be any Phoenixes. There's nothing to deal with that.
And there you go. There's the Spire going down. He's getting clear reconstitution as well. Now, as you rightly pointed out before, the Roach Warren does move with this. So if he sends out Hallucinated Phoenix, it could be a little bit of a mind game. Where is he throwing down the Spire?
Well,
the back of the natural.
Yeah, the back of the natural. But the Phoenixes are coming in. Hallucinated Phoenix is very important. These two Phoenixes. I want to talk about VortiX in a second. But these two Phoenixes are very important. What do they see? Where do they see everything?
They see the Roach Warren.
They see the Evos not researching. They see the Roach Warren researching. They spot the Spire. I think that's enough of a tell for to BabyKnight. Sorry, I lost my thought. To actually get ready to deal with this, but he hasn't made anything extra yet.
Yeah. Catches a few Zerglings, not too much there. And with that, we'll force VortiX on back, getting his third base up and running. Blink and +2 is a useful move, but whoa, Robo Bay.
I wonder if he's expecting Mutalist here. Because it could be, if he's expecting 1/1 Roaches to be down and Roach want to be making it. There are Roach speed attacks with Corruptors, so if he's expecting Corruptors here, he's in trouble. He is absolutely in trouble. Look how much gas is banked already.
That's a lot.
There's a cannon being built, but that's just an additional one to protect the third base. The Robo base coming down. He's not making anything extra, and I don't think he's read into it here.
Yeah.
What I wanted to come back just a quick minute here to explain something is that when you see the Twilight Council and Robo Bay to go for Spire play, you have already gas banked up to go 2/2 and Infested Pit for fast ultras. Yep. You can easily switch over to Spy play and get a massive lead if this does damage, which I'm sure is... And an Immortal, he has no idea right now, Caloris.
You know, you're right. He, despite seeing the Spire, he's just not reading this as well as he would like to. Those Mutalists are going to hit hard, and there's... How many Stalkers he has? He has 6 Stalkers out right now, and that's... Regardless, it's not the most amazing of tactics ever to deal with Spire anyway. Mutalists are faster now. They regenerate health. These Stalkers aren't going to be able to deal with this too easily. BabyKnight, though, he's moving out to the middle of the map, and he's going to lose a lot of Stalkers here. If he's not careful.
I mean, he's going to launch Guardian Shield. He kind of has to fight. Obviously, has to move in there and launch Guardian Shield, but gets back. 12 Speed Roaches on the way as well.
He throws the Stargate down. That's probably too
late. Reaction. Look at the 4th base and 5th base. Same scenario against Naniwa. He's going to have a lot of money incoming. He's doing a lot of damage. Just taking the fight. He knows he can. Stalkers just don't cut it.
Yeah, they're not able to deal with this amount of Mutalisks that quickly. 150 supply to 103 right now. Killing off all of these Stalkers is catastrophic here for BabyKnight. He needs to gather them up. He needs critical mass once again. And he's going to take so much damage. There's no cannons to defend these mineral lines.
It may be too late here. As a Protoss player, you need to read into this before it's too late. And I feel it is now. As you can see, +2 attackers with the Stalkers and Guardian Shield, which is good, but there just isn't enough here. VortiX is hit hard. He made the right decision. Yes, he had the balls, as we talked about earlier, to do this. And he's, what, a Colossus? Like, you know, what is that going to do?
There you go. GG for game number 1. VortiX takes it with a very, very cool tech switch there by him. But you're right. You're entirely right. He was rocketing up towards that kind of infestation pit, into Hive, into Ultralist play. The early melee upgrades really dictate that kind of play. But great adaptation there by VortiX.
It's the Roach Warren researching something that threw him off.
Yeah.
He expected, with double evolution chambers and a Roach Warren down and expecting to see the Roaches being used, you kind of think, well, if he's getting 2/2, 1/1, and 2/2, that's a lot of gas taken away from potential Mutalists. And Mutalists switch have to hit hard, right? It is time to get that jacket. It's time to get...
BabyKnight's getting serious now, guys.
But he just... the bottom line is he didn't expect that. He saw the Spire, he thought it would be for Corruptors, some kind of Roach Corruptor attack. And that's why he added on an extra Immortal, Colossus. Just didn't see that at all coming.
Yep. And now the map is Daybreak here to decide whether or not VortiX will advance on to the round of 8, or if BabyKnight can keep his hopes alive. BabyKnight's played so well through the round of 32 from the opponent that he defeated in the form of Naniwa earlier on in this group. If he falls after killing off 3 legends, VortiX, well, he's doing pretty well for himself.
We really thought that after killing those 3 players that he'd be unstoppable.
Yeah.
Really thought he'd be unstoppable at this point, but we've been proved wrong through Happy and now through VortiX too. BabyKnight has to step it up, 1 map away from facing likewise elimination with his Protoss brother here.
It's funny because for me so far, the round of 16 WCS, it's got to the point where the players that were just in the shadows of the great names in Europe, those people that were in the shadows are now stepping up. They have been able to sit at home and practice to the best of their ability. They are rising to the challenge. Heart no mutas, please. And now VortiX is here to say, no more overshadowing. I'm going to take this. And we have spawning down to the bottom left here as our red Zerg. Making mutas in game number 1. Hopefully for BabyKnight, no more here in game number 2. He is Caronte VortiX. And spawning up to the top right as our blue Protoss. 1 game away from ultimate elimination, or 1 game away from keeping his hopes alive. He is Na'Vi BabyKnight.
Nexus first, the most common build here for BabyKnight to go with. There are options to go for the Forge play here, but the pylon down gateways are thrown out here. Wonder what we're going to see from both players. VortiX, nice mind games in that series, or at least, you know, just getting the 1-1 for the Zerglings, then pulling the right decision. Roach speed really threw BabyKnight. I'm just going to have to be so careful when scouting next game. I think he used 3 to 4 hallucinated Phoenixes in that game, yet didn't still see what was coming.
You know what I think VortiX does here? He mind games the mind game. He does exactly the same build and then goes mutas again.
Hashtag mind games.
It would be an interesting strat, but BabyKnight, he has to deal with that, and that's a horrible thing to deal with going into a second game.
He may be forced into Stargate play now, just saying, you know, I can't, you know, have that happen to me again. I know I asked, please don't use Mulus, but I don't know if I can trust his word, so I may have to open Stargate to actually protect myself.
It's a good point. It's a good point. If he does, that will certainly limit VortiX a little bit in terms of his options in regards to going for those mind games, but with 1 game up, VortiX, he's a cerebral player. He can fake you out. He can go for a lot of aggression, then go into a macro game from 1 game to the next. So if he does find that opportunity to do such cerebral tactics, then he will do if he gets the option to.
VortiX really is displaying that there was a lot of discussion around VortiX and his skill level in Wings of Liberty. Was it credited towards the Zerg dominance? Was it actual real skill that he's showing? And if he's able to advance today, I definitely believe that he's here to stay this year and many years in the future. He's only 19 years old. He's only playing part-time. You have to remember this. Yeah. Compared to everyone else in the Premier League. I'm pretty sure everyone else is full-time. I'd be very surprised if there was someone else that is part. Sure. I'm pretty sure VortiX is the only one. He's the 2nd youngest in the league as well. The youngest is, Feast? Feast is the youngest player in the league.
19, whereas Mr. VortiX is September 19. So.
Just a couple of months difference there. Oh dear.
That's annoying. Zergling's getting into the main. That's going to be a bit irritating. Might end up delaying a little bit of tech options, but at the same time sees the double gas. And these probes could lose some mining time as well.
Yeah, I think I summarized that well. Is that's an oh dear moment for BabyKnight, because that means he's got probes off. He can lose probes here.
Yeah.
This is going to be very annoying to deal with, and especially when you're 0-1 behind, you go into the next map being like, all right, fresh game. We're equal. It's a parallel race to the next stage of the development. We're in the mid to late game, but now it's a hindrance. He's going to lose probes, or not yet. He hasn't. He's got. Oh, there goes one, and he could lose a couple more. But that is definitely an annoyance for sure.
Yeah, just still staking around. He got those 2 Zerglings in to begin with, and they killed off 1 probe. So 4 Zerglings in turn. It would only be apt if they were able to get 2.
Yeah, and I mean, another mistake I suppose if you want to look in detail is you don't need a chrono boost the main Nexus when you're at 16 probes too. It should be saved for the naturals. You don't have to transfer probes as much at a faster rate and, you know, accelerate the rate on the natural Nexus. So small little things here. BabyKnight definitely feeling a little bit flustered after that game 1. Fast double gases here, not really too much of an indication for anything because he can't tech up, right? The Zergling's still in his base. It's not like he can just tech up and then take the gases. He might as well take them before.
And the third's going down here for VortiX as well, getting a ton more drones out as well as double gases. 35 workers to 34 right now, but he will peak up to 40 in just a second. Mothership Core begins for BabyKnight. And how can he now play this out? He goes for a very quick third here, though, Apollo.
Oh, wow. This is... this is risky.
Yeah.
We know that he's playing from a little bit of a deficit in this game. 2 Overlords south are on their way to this location, but is it going to be too late? There's no Zerglings on the field. 4 were the only ones that were made. Roach Warren defensively put down here for VortiX, you know, expecting something potentially. Overlord going into the main base too. And this Overlord going into the main base is not going to see anything, and that's going to be a bit stressful. It's going to be very misleading for VortiX. If BabyKnight can survive up to 2 minutes from this point, let's say around 9 minutes, 9:30, without being spotted, he's actually going to take a lead.
Yeah, you're right, but at the same time, a lot of Zerglings actually start production. That Roach Warren finishes up in a second, along with Leia begun. He can poke out with those Zerglings to try and spot stuff, but this is always what VortiX does. Regardless of if he sees aggression definitely coming or not, he gets a few Zerglings out just to buffer in case that's occurring. He gets a little bit of a surround on this Zealot. The Zealot microing very nicely, though, along with this Mothership Core. But in the end, does get taken down.
But where are these Zerglings going? Do they go to the third, or do they hover around the natural? Remember, depending on how long this is not spotted, if it's spotted within that time frame of between, or just lower than 9 minutes to 9:30, I think he may already start to feel what's going on. Well, look at this. No, wait, actually, never mind. I was going to say, so around 9 minutes to 9:30, if he spots it early, he's able to build a lot of units to come and pressure it before defenses are set up. But defenses are already being set up. A wall is there. Cannons are there. 6 gateways are coming down.
And the Overlord is moving into position here to spot this third location. So he now knows that that is up and running, good to go. There's a lot of roaches in production. He's freeing up some supply with those Overlords as well. Gleary Constitution starts.
He's going to pressure this.
Yeah.
He spotted it just before 9 minutes. He's got enough time here. He's going to start to build a lot of units. Double Evolution Chamber and Infestation Pit coming down too. He's going to pressure a little bit. Not much though. He's only built a handful of roaches. I suppose then if he's not, he'll take the gas on his third and go straight for a fourth.
Yeah. I guess he knows his opponent does not have that many units. He can't do. He invested this much heavily into a third base location. There can't be that many gates down. So VortiX, he's going to go to the natural? Huh.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to achieve too much. The best here is a Forge Snipe.
Yeah.
A Forge Snipe can hinder the upgrades.
Can do. There's actually the force field that does go down there will block that off quite nicely. Forge is going to end up dying, but +1 did finish behind this, so it's not as big of a deal here, but still quite an annoyance. Photon overcharge as well. He wants to push this back. He saves the Forge. Now the third base is going to be under assault. Ooh,
yeah,
good
a couple
force
of force fields come down. Stop the roaches from going through. Zerglings do break through. Oh, sentries out in the open. That's a mistake there.
Oh, that's a lot of gas investment that could have been placed elsewhere. Really not paying for themselves at all. +1 melee as well as Carapace, Pathogen Glands, and Gleary Constitution now on the way here for VortiX. A lot of units in production just off, well, he's on 69 drones, so he doesn't really need much more.
So I definitely favor BabyKnight in terms of the economy at the moment. 66 probes to 68 drones, that's great.
Yeah.
That's really great, actually, and the income is in his favor, too. The problem now is that we have 1-1 on the way in Infestors. We are going to see a relatively fast hive here, and we are going to see Ultralists again. Well, that was the initial planning in the first game here, but it's definitely going to be in this one, as the gases are getting taken. Now we need, or at least BabyKnight needs, should I say, a scout. He needs to find out what he's playing against. Does he need to prepare for Mutalisks?
Well,
One thing to point out, double Forge is actually a really nice recovery from losing that single Forge.
Yeah, I like that. No, but he didn't lose the Forge in the end. It's
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
adding it on, it really helps out quite a lot in the end, because double Forge play in this matchup, I am actually a huge fan of. If you can take that swing forwards in those upgrades against a Zerg, somehow, some way, your army becomes really, really hard to kill, really impenetrable.
And he's going to need these double upgrades against the style he's playing too. The Observer sees the Infestors, Lings, and Roaches. No Hive yet, though. That's something to, to think about here as BabyKnight decides to move out. He's moving across the map to the north. He's got a pylon coming down. Units are being made here. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to break VortiX. It's going to be an interesting fight. His upgrades aren't done either.
It's a pretty strong army, but at the same time, a lot of Zerglings are flooding out. Those Fungals are going to really help along with these Spine Crawlers. VortiX is setting himself up a very, very good defense here. 84 army supply to 72, and that doesn't count these Spines that can be always very devastating.
Yeah, I don't think this is breakable here, unfortunately. Yeah. He's got a lot of force fields, which does help, but the Lings now, with 1-1 complete.
If he catches the sentries, though, with a few Fungals and chains that, he's going to make them pop.
2-2 on the way. BabyKnight's warping in more units. +2 attack almost done. He didn't go in before his upgrades were complete.
Hive begins. Spire
nice
finishing
spread
up.
of units. Look at that. Left units, right units here.
Liking that a lot. 2-2 begins as well behind all of this. VortiX realizes that, well, maybe this isn't as strong. Actually, he does catch those sentries with the Fungals. They might end up popping. He's guaranteeing the chain. He's constantly throwing it down there to try and catch those, and he will actually pop a lot of them. They all fall down. Only one sentry left. 25 Stalkers, though, to keep the boot.
There's a lot of Stalkers here. Only 1-1 upgrades on these Zerglings. That's a lot of Stalkers. BabyKnight, is he going to be able to break this through? It's going to be a difficult ride for sure.
Yeah, another Fungal locks down more of these Stalkers. Blink is continuing here, though. BabyKnight proving that he has great Blink micro against anyone before. Is it going to be enough to defeat VortiX here as he constantly powers on those Spines, helping out a little bit, but he keeps on retaining the Stalkers, and he's warping in Zealots behind it to tank for them.
Yeah, and he's got Blink, remember, so these are great units, and this is where he beat Stefano last time with these Stalkers, this map, this kind of position, similar position, and he's going to break this 4th base. This is really good news here for BabyKnight. A lot of Zerglings and Roaches just spawned, though. VortiX, how is he going to handle this? He's got no energy on these Infestors, so crucial
he needs
against
to buy
these
time.
Stalkers.
He needs to buy time, Apollo. This is... his 3rd base is going to get ransacked. There's no way he can actually save this. RoboBay is going down behind this as well for BabyKnight. His perfect timing. They actually move forwards. All he has is energy to throw down Infested Terrans, but they are not going to be any good here. Against this, he starts Adrenal Glands behind this, but the Stalkers have got a great spread. It doesn't matter about that fungal growth. The Roaches trying to deal with this, but they don't have the upgrades. It's all been focused on melee. The Stalkers reign supreme at the 3rd location. 154 supply to 109. BabyKnight, there you go. GG. 1-1.
Game on. Game on indeed. A super interesting timing there, right? Got in there nicely. BabyKnight to pick up that victory against VortiX, and we're going to game 3. Star Station, I think. I'm pretty sure it's Star Station.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that BabyKnight, he took off his hoodie going into that game.
And he won.
He released all the energy to actually advance on here to the final match in Group B. Will VortiX advance or will BabyKnight? Both of these players have shown that they deserve a spot in the round of 8. But who can go that extra step to represent their country, represent their race?
That's right.
Represent themselves.
And the next map is Star Station. VortiX playing, well, loses momentum is what I want to say there. Loses momentum. BabyKnight picks it up. Always the benefit of getting that map number 2. BabyKnight, can he do it? He's had such a strong performance throughout WCS last year, this year. Likewise for VortiX, being 2nd place in WCS Europe last year. Top 8 at the World Finals is incredible.
Yeah.
And today, both of these players fighting for a top 8 position here in WCS Europe.
Mr. Miles Manor tweeting us, happy in WCS looks like happy from Wings of Liberty with faster medevacs and better skills, so overall better. Thanks very much, Manor.
Yeah, Manor happy to see, happy move on. And well, this game, this tension between these two players is building up as it looks like we are ready to begin this next map. Star Station is going to be the map, as you can see from VortiX's screen, the countdown is going. Yeah,
and BabyKnight wishes us good luck, myself, Kyle Laris, and you, Apollo, for this next cast.
It is the last cast of the day here.
We need all the luck we can get, apparently. Thank you very much, BabyKnight. So, the final game, guys. It all comes down to this. Will Zerg advance or will Protoss? Will VortiX or BabyKnight? Game number 3. As we have these two players facing off against one another. Serious faces. The hoodie has been taken off as we have spawning up in the top right-hand corner as our red Zerg representing Caronte. Give it up for VortiX. And spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner as our blue Protoss, bringing it back 1-1, keeping his hopes alive. Give it up for BabyKnight.
BabyKnight with one of the sharpest rises in StarCraft result-wise and popularity over this last year. And he's just continued to rise. He's had not too many downs, to be honest, if you look at that last past year. You know, went over to MLGs, and he's been there a couple of times now. And that's when you start to know that you're doing well, once you leave the scene that you play in consistently. BabyKnight before that was just in Europe. Well, originally just in Denmark, going to a couple of local tournaments. That moved up to playing in Europe with the WCS. It moved on to the World Championship, into MLGs in America. And here he is today, going up against a player with a similar rise, to be honest. I mean, not such a... It's a bit of a longer period. I think VortiX has been around for a bit longer than BabyKnight when it comes to the top tier of play. But both in the same position. One map, just this single map, to decide who moves on.
So for VortiX, it started over in WCS Spain that we cast. Coming second, falling short against his brother, but from that point on was able to attend Europe finals, play so well there himself, and then attended IEMs, killed Korean after Korean during that. So VortiX been rising himself, but it's interesting that you bring this up, because during the WCS thus far, we've followed a lot of players who have had rises and falls, rises and falls, rises and falls. But BabyKnight, there's never been that fall yet. He is always steadily climbing, not to the point where it's like placed 32nd and then placed first and it's instantaneous fame, but it's been slow and steady for BabyKnight, and we'll have to see if he's able to take that extra step further.
One player's going down to Challenger League, one goes to the round of 8. We'll have to find out which one it's going to be. We do see the opening from both of these players here, so just spawn and pull hatchery into a bit of a later gas round 20 supply from VortiX, where we have the Mothership Core double gas build coming from BabyKnight, identical to how Naniwa likes to play this out. Is going to move down to grab that Nexus. What's his follow-up going to be here for? Gateways, he's going to... One thing actually, you know, looking at BabyKnight's play, and something that I really like that he uses so often, is the Mothership Core and recall usage.
Yes.
Moves out, comes back, moves out, comes back, forces units instead of drones. It's something he used very well against Stefano. Not today, though. Not yet. Not properly.
It really makes use of a very, very terrifying new aspect that Protoss has here. And things like that recall have really just completely revolutionized what Protoss can actually do in the matchup, how much they can get away with. It's no longer a complete all-in if you move out with 5 sentries into the middle of the map. It's a crazy thought, but if you have that Mothership Core in backup there with that, then it can still be actually a legit move out sometimes.
It can be. I mean, it's difficult to tell unless you can actually see inside the base, know if the gateways are down or not. BabyKnight's build, though, it's into a forge straight away, then second gateway. And VortiX spots it, just comes down with a Zergling, spots the forge, and knows that it's not going to be that style where you can move out with a couple of Zealots and obviously continue pressure or come back. He is going to start to research +1, which... BabyKnight likes to research. He loves to get his +1 early against Zerg players, likes to use it aggressively. We'll see if he can, because he can actually add on a lot of gateways behind this and try something. He can just add on a single one, can go up and then tech from this position.
Hello there, Zerbro.
Hello, mate. Does this show up on the stream?
Hi, Mum. Oh, well, there you go.
Yes, it does.
It does, apparently.
So Ro16 again coming down by VortiX. Look how cautiously he's playing. He's not taking his third base too fast. Overlord coming in nice and early, trying to get the scouts. He's a second gateway. Doesn't know if there's more hidden, so he's actually sending in the second Overlord. Eagerly looking to see if there was something hidden at that north side. So only 2 gateways in a forge so far from BabyKnight.
Ro16 finishing up in just a second. A little bit of flood of Zerglings. 3 Overlords. Actually, he could make a lot of roaches here if he's not careful. Although he doesn't have that much minerals banked up, so it would have been a bit weird. Just starts those drones.
If he threw a lot of money into roaches there, you can't take a third base too soon.
Yeah.
Kind of puts himself in an attack or die position. So he does decide to continue droning. Twilight Council coming down, though. Twilight Council, +2, Blink play, potential third base with Blink.
Yeah, it's BabyKnight, and he always enjoyed that Blink play, but the layer's now begun here for VortiX. He already has 4 gas guys across these 2 base, so he has options open to him at this point.
I think that BabyKnight might try some gateway play. No, okay, Robo comes down. All right, I was going to say that if he was to throw down a bunch of gateways there, he could be looking to move out. But Twilight Council and Robo, this is similar how we wanted to play map number 1 before the Mutalisk came. Sending out the Hallucinated Phoenix to find out what he's playing against. with a Chrono Boost into that +2 is super interesting as well. Because Chrono Boost into that +2 means he wants to force it out faster. And I think what we could see is a third base come down and then go. Much when that +2 finishes.
Yeah, could do. And with that, VortiX also reading into what he saw at the front. He's getting those roaches out. He saw the little move out of his opponent. Phoenix flying around, having a little bit of look, see what exactly is going on. Clear Reconstitution starts as soon as he goes out of vision of that, though. And that third base is on the way. BabyKnight knows that it's gone on the way, though, so he wants to try and apply some pressure here with 2 gates. And that blink does end up starting.
Yeah, this movement out here is what we talked about BabyKnight likes to do. I think he's just going to move out and then recall back.
And VortiX.
Oh my gosh.
Of all of the places to go for it, the Spire just where BabyKnight could not see it out of the exact range. Had that Overlord been spreading extra creep, there could have been the small possibility that he would have seen creep on that.
And the funny thing is, he's not going to walk back that way.
No.
He's going to teleport. And he's not going to see anything. And unfortunately, those force fields. Wow, I can't believe that VortiX is pulling something like this off. Oh.
Well, this is a good surround there in terms of those force fields, but has to recall on out. This Spire is not going to be noticed. Oh. And you know, he saw the Roach Warren. He didn't see it researching Clear Constitution. He might go for another scout once again. Oh,
the problem is, the Hallucinate Phoenix went in, saw the Roach Warren. He didn't see Evolution Chambers. But the problem with that is that VortiX doesn't like to get them early, so it's very misleading. This Observer's going in. And he has to piece this together or we'll have the same scenario as game number 1. This Observer is going to go in. It sees nothing from the Roach Warren. I think Speed just finished.
Yeah, it did, just barely.
So I wonder if he's starting to piece this together. Is it hidden somewhere? Is it something coming on?
He's
so far,
immortals.
no reactions. Immortal coming down. The Observer's looking eagerly. Needs to see that there's no Evos. By now, that has to be Evos down. Without Evolution Chambers, that's gas not being spent. We can see 1,200 banked up. Nothing from BabyKnight. 2 Observers coming in. BabyKnight, VortiX knows that Observer's there. Here come the Mutalisks. No reaction, a proper reaction from BabyKnight yet.
All right, he's getting cannon. He's getting, but that's only the one at the third. He's getting +3
Another
weapons.
2. He's starting to. What is going on? That's the question that Baby's asking himself. What is going on?
That
to
hallucinated Phoenix.
The South Phoenix. Where is it going?
It's going. Oh, I don't think it's going to spot it. Does it pass? Go over it.
Oh my God! It's going to see it. But is it too late? Is it too late? The Mutalisks are already going to be out. By the time he spots it, they're already going to be on the way. It's going to help him a little bit.
Yeah.
He's going to see it. This is really, really big.
He's going to have a lot of weapons. He has Blink there. He sees the Spire now. He saw Mutalisks as well. He knows they're on the way. He has to react right now. He has to do all he can. He needs to warp in Stalkers. And he throws down the Stargate, but it might be too late. He needs to buy time with the Stalkers.
Yeah, he's got Blink, right? So he's got Blink, right? So he's going to be able to push this back for now. +2 is done. And he's going to have to micro these Stalkers one by one. Nice. Good play there from BabyKnight.
All the Mutalisks are not there, though. They were all kind of staggered, and that allows him to buy time right now for this. 168 supply to 129. He's poking him once again. He's trying to do some damage, but a Blink forwards tries to deny that. Meanwhile, at the third base, he's going to try and push on in with Zerglings, as well as the Roaches even.
Great force fields coming in there with the 2 Immortals, and the Mutalisks nowhere to be found. This is so far an incredible hold. Incredible reaction. He's a Blink forward once again down there, and he does quite misses it. Not to overextend out in the middle. Does not want to overextend. Needs to hug the Nexus. Photon overcharge. Needs to actually... where is that Mothership core? Needs to, it's in the main base.
Yep.
And Stargate play is coming down. He's buying the time necessary.
Exactly. BabyKnight is holding on to buy himself that time. He's getting a fleet beacon behind this. The 2 Stargates have finished. He's adding on a third one as well, knowing that he needs to deal with this airborne play. VortiX behind this, he's committing to more Mutalisks. He's pumping all of his gas into those Mutalisks, but BabyKnight has +3 just
+3 is really big. Stalkers, Immortals, everything. Really, really big here. As BabyKnight is about to pull off an incredible transition here from not seeing this to seeing it. Mule's coming again. Photon overcharges there. Where are the Stalkers?
That's a lot of damage being done. He's killing off a lot of probes. The 1 Phoenix does greet or 2 Phoenix even, and greet that, along with the Blink Stalkers. Push it away. Fleet Beacon finishes up. Anion Pulse Crystals is just a footstone away here for BabyKnight to secure with those Phoenix.
And remember, if he's able to get the range for these Phoenixes, he will combat these Mutalisks, and that's all of it. There's no Evolution Chambers, there's no upgrades. It is so important for BabyKnight. He's continuing to hold on. VortiX is struggling at this point. Here come the Corruptors to actually deal with the Phoenixes, and that's going to be something interesting to look. 5 bases, 10 gases, the same scenario Nano Warrior is in. The tech switches and the amount of units that VortiX can build through the gas income he has is incredible. +1 shields on the way down too to help out these Phoenixes. An incredibly tense moment for the Danish player.
And behind this, you've got to remember he has that infestation pit down as well. So if he wants to, he can transition onto that hive. Diversifying his tech a little bit across 5 bases is going to be hard for BabyKnight to deal with. He needs to actually play so well here to not only deny this harassment, but also deny the follow-up that could potentially come along from VortiX.
All right, well, so far so good for BabyKnight. This is the time where you will want to add on extra gateways. Tempo Archives is great here. Getting in Storm or Archons either is fine, because what he needs is splash damage to deal with Zerglings and so on. The mineral, excess mineral bank that VortiX has and will have to replenish his army is going to go Zergling. So if he moves out, beats the air but can't beat the ground, that's where Archon, Storm or whatever will come in incredibly useful.
That's a lot of Phoenix.
Phoenix range is done, remember.
Yeah, they're hunting down those Mutalisks. The Corrupt is trying to come in to zone them out, but BabyKnight is not going to have any of that. He will micro back against these Corruptors. They have to stay still to fire whilst those Phoenix can just attack from movement. All
right, well, how's BabyKnight going to do this? He's got +1 attack on the way. A small attack coming in from VortiX. Not big considering the army size of BabyKnight. Force fields have to be perfect.
Yeah, he's trying to push on the pressure. 95 army supply against 118. He's going to go for it. The force fields go down, but they don't really get too much surface area on that. All the Zerglings will end up melting on the floor, but the Phoenix have all been completely destroyed. It's going to be Stalkers alone trying to deal with this for now, whilst the Corruptors had their way with the Phoenix.
Yeah, and the Corruptors are going down incredibly fast here. They're +3 on the Stalkers, doing massive amounts. Not too much of a difference in terms of supply. 10 Mulists and 28 Lings. Here comes the Mineral Dunk a little bit into these Zerglings. 10 gases and a 6th base down too by VortiX. That's another set of gas income that he will desperately need. Actually, already hallucinated geysers down. Here come the Archons getting morphed in to deal with these Zerglings. Remember, there's no ground upgrades, only air upgrades here.
+1 air also starting there for BabyKnight as well. So he really, really needs to combat this air. VortiX now is pretty committed until that kind of hive tech switch would come out, but still getting all of these gases sticking around a Mutalist, getting +2 weapons for them can be catastrophic, especially if you don't have the armor upgrades, which currently BabyKnight has none of. He's just come focused entirely on weapons, but it's still very strong. Will he get the denial on this base? Yes, he will. He's going to kill off a few Phoenix in the process, but these Stalkers still going for the engagement. Corruption across everything
Guardian
here.
Shield is missing. Where is it?
You're right, it is. That would soak up so much damage. And there goes the Guardian Shield. Is it too little too late, though?
I don't
He
think
actually
so.
only has, well, 11 Stalkers. They push it back. BabyKnight holds on.
Takes a supply lead for the first time in this game. Spotted the start, Spire late, reacted as fast as he could, bought enough time as fast as he could here. And the supply lead goes in favor of VortiX again here, but look, 1-1 Zergling upgrades coming in. BabyKnight has a couple of options here. Sit back, take a 4, fortify this base. Picks off flat. That's actually going to cancel +2 attack, remember. Whoa. That Spire gave me an SC2 gasm. Thank you, CCvo.
And the thing is that VortiX is so invested in that right now. He's getting that +2 weapons as well, that all of these Mutalisks, considering how much he's lost, look how many resources he's actually lost here. 16,000 to 9,000, or at least 10,000. So VortiX has lost a lot. Admittedly, he's mined a lot more as well. So it could be blow for blow here. VortiX still stuck on this air tech, trying to transition into those infestors.
Yeah, this is a time where VortiX is trying to make the transition away. So he's at his weakest point in this game.
Yeah.
He's at his very, very most weak point. He's very vulnerable. And if BabyKnight makes the move...
You're right. BabyKnight is such an opportunistic player in terms of actually exploiting those kinds of weaknesses. That being said, though, he's not marching across the map. He's happy to sit back on this 4th base. 84 workers to 72 right now in favor of VortiX.
The transition comes in, and the idea of the next move for VortiX. What does VortiX do next, right? He's got +2 attack. It has to be Broodlords here. It has to be. It can't be Ultralisk. There's too many Immortals, Archon, Stalkers.
Well, I mean, he started melee weapons again, so I think that might end up happening here.
But that's the only Spire, right? So he needs to rebuild a Spire if that's his plan.
Yeah.
Ultralisk isn't going to be smart because +1 attack is down, +2 is on the way, and then Void Rays can be made from this position. Whatever VortiX tries to go for here, he's weak. He's weak, for sure. A second Spire is coming back, so
Yeah.
it is going to be Greater Spire. That's a big time before those units are out. BabyKnight's approaching max. BabyKnight could pull this off if he moves forward with this army. He's so close to 200 supply. This could be the victory that BabyKnight needs and deserves here.
The army values and army supplies are very close to one another right now. 112 supply against 118 in favor of VortiX. 6,300 minerals and 3,400 gas for BabyKnight's army. So a little bit weaker in regards against VortiX's, as that gas investment's so heavy there. So VortiX now wants to buy himself time. He wants this army gone. He does not want it creeping around on his creep.
This is BabyKnight's chance, Kalaris.
Yeah.
He could pick up the win. He could be moving on to the round of 8 with this very attack.
He could be. Those time warps go down. He's going to try and caution off VortiX as much as possible. He wants to do damage to these bases, but at the same time, if he goes for a straight-up engagement, he has a lot of damage, and he throws down the Ultralisk Cavern behind this. He's trying to diversify his tech up a little bit. Adrenal Gland starts with this. VortiX needs time. BabyKnight, if he pushes in, could do some damage.
Remember, look how much money VortiX has in the bank. He wants to go over to something, but there's something isn't there yet. And a good fungal on these Phoenixes.
Catching those is big, but he doesn't get the chain. The Mutalisk's actually going for the direct counterattack here. Will he be able to throw him back? There's a few. The Phoenix are coming back to try and deal with that. The cannons are gone. The Stalkers and Immortals are going to move on forward. There's no ground army here to combat BabyKnight.
VortiX knows that he's in trouble, so he's like, what am I going to do to actually keep myself in this game? I'm going to go for a counterattack, and this is incredibly close. The 4th base goes down. The Phoenixes are going to town on these Mutalisks. They will fall down here, but Roaches survive. Behind this, though, I still feel... Look at how many overlords have been killed here.
He killed
supply
loads.
box, he's down to 120 supply. 6 overlords are coming in. That slows down his potential transition. Look how much money VortiX has. He needs to make the move.
He could have been making Ultralisks right now, but losing all of those overlords was a little bit catastrophic. The Kaiser's plating is on the way. 5 Ultralisks now in production, but the army of BabyKnight is pretty strong here against the Ultras. With BabyKnight right now is 187 supply against 134. VortiX is fighting for his life. He's lost a lot of his economy.
All right, remember, these units here do not have armor upgrades. It's been +3 over to shields. This is incredibly tense. Fungals and Ultralisk together, but what if the Fungals are missing? They go down.
Oh, he drops the Fungal at the very last second, but only because he knew everything was going to die.
8 Ultralisks, but I don't think it's going to be enough. There's just too many units. +3 attack on Immortals, and then Archons in the front too.
The fact that he only has 3 Infestors and 14 Zerglings to complement those Ultralisks is just not enough. BabyKnight is going to control back. He's going to blink back, separate his units up, tank a little bit with the Archons, rain down havoc with those Immortals at the back to rip apart those Ultras. They're gathering up for the final hurrah for VortiX.
Look at the money in the bank. 15 minerals? What are you going to do with 15 minerals? There's no bases mining at this point. VortiX has 106 supply, and he won't go higher. All BabyKnight needs to do is stamp out this one army, and he's going to be the one moving on. Hallucinated, Immortals, Colossus, you name it, whatever, using the Phoenixes, and this is going to be a Kalaris.
He goes for it. He locks down a good amount of the army at the front, but there's not enough. So much DPS raining down from those Stalkers at the back here. Those Ultralisks are all but diminished. Gone and gone and gone. The last Ultralisk falls. GG! BabyKnight, defeating Legends, will move on to the round of 8 here in the WCS Europe Premier League.
BabyKnight came in today after beating Stefano and Grubby, then moves on to beat Naniwa. Falls down to Happy in a position where he has to win 2 games in a row. The 1 game in a row, this one, and he was able to do it. What a fantastic play there.
What a fantastic series. BabyKnight victorious. VortiX will end up falling down to Challenger League here.
Yeah.
But what a way, what a series to close out the night.
I mean, he just, did everything right. We looked at the hallucinating Phoenix. Imagine if they hadn't have seen the Spire. It would have been a repeat of game number 1. He saw it, and he bought just enough time. Stalkers in position, Immortals and Sentries that were useless at that point, defended the 3rd against the Roaches. He just nailed it.
Yeah.
He played one of the best games he's played so far in this WCS. That was absolutely incredible.
Very impressive. And now we get to hear from the man himself, Mr. BabyKnight, with an interview with Red Eye.
Thanks very much, guys. Here with the winner, the man who has won the deciding game in Group B and will now go through to the round of 8. I'm standing with you. I don't think you can actually hardly believe that you're through to the round of 8 already. How are you feeling right now?
I'm just so happy. I mean, I'm like shaking and stuff. It's almost like I won the whole tournament or something.
Not quite yet, but not far away. You've only got the round of 8 to go through, and then you're there. So, one step closer. This group is a really tough group for all 4 players. We all said at the start of the night that if any of you play really well tonight, any of you could make it through. And you've made it through now after a really titanic battle with VortiX. He put up a great fight.
Yeah, he did. I have so much respect for him. He might be the best Zerg in Europe right now. Stefano's still really good, but yeah, he might be. So, winning against him is just such a great feeling.
So that's you're now known as the Legend Killer. Are you aware of that tag?
Well, I'd rather be the legend, but I guess it's a nice title.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Stefano, Grubby, Naniwa, VortiX. That's a lot of big names gone from WCS, all thanks to you.
Yeah, I guess that's the start of a legend, you could say.
Okay, well, we'll see. So, talk us through that third and final game, because it was a titanic battle between the two of you.
Well, it was a pretty good game, yeah. It was... playing late game against Zerg as Protoss, I think, is like one of the hardest things in all of StarCraft. Especially when they go Mutas at one point, and you have to like go Phoenix and then switch around. And I thought he was going to switch away from Mutas a bit sooner. I guess the Ultralisk switch was maybe a bit too late or something. But I mean, it's just so tough when you have to defend everywhere and you have to keep your macro up, because if you falter your macro for 1 second, you're basically dead. Kind of like you saw in game 1, but that was a bit different. But anyway. It's just so hard. I mean, should we start from the beginning of the? I can
yeah, absolutely. Talk us through it.
Well, that build, it's very similar to the one Naniwa uses at DreamHack, but instead of like the beginning, getting 4 gateways, I get 3 and Forge, so I can get better upgrades. But then obviously the pushes are going to be weaker in the beginning. So you saw me moving out to kill his third, but he just had so many units, so I just recalled and played it from there. But it lowers his drone count, so I think it was like a pretty even game. But as you saw, he hit the Spire, which I saw very late in the game, but obviously I saw the Mutas before that. But
that was pretty much GG then from that point.
Yeah, the thing is, when somebody hides the Spire, it's so scary if you don't scout it, and it's so hard to scout. But on that map, I think it's one of the better ones to actually defend Mutas without already having the Phoenix. But I guess that helped me a lot. But once I had the Phoenix up, I was pretty confident going from there, yeah.
Great insight. Thank you so much for that. Just one more question. Round of 8 is next. Who do you fancy? Which other legend do you want to ruin in the round of 8?
Are there any more left? I guess it's...
All right, well, I think that's a good time to leave it before you get yourself into some trouble, John. Fantastic evening of Group B once more. Congratulations to this guy, and also congratulations to the Russian Happy. They're both through to the round of 8. Let's go back over to our commentary team.
Thank you, Red Eye. What a day, Kalaris. What a day we've had. 2 days now in the round of 16 down. What are your thoughts on today's action so far?
Pretty darn crazy. I mean, who would have predicted that these were the results in the very end? Coming down to the final 3 being Naniwa, VortiX, and BabyKnight. Happy advancing on in first place. And BabyKnight proving once again that he's here to stay.
Today's bracket was, incredible. What a weird way that it played out. If you actually look at how it played out, with VortiX Happy as game number 1, Happy advancing on, and then BabyKnight, Naniwa, BabyKnight moving on. A lot of predictions were reversed today with Naniwa and VortiX, but look at the end result. It's just a great, great showing today.
It really is. As I said before, those players that were slightly overshadowed during the previous months here in the European scene are now rising to the top. People like TLO, great practice regiment yesterday. People like Happy, always considered to be that player who not necessarily performs offline, but now comes along and proves us all wrong.
I know, Happy played great today. Really impressed with how he played, and likewise with BabyKnight, who made his name in WCS, and he continues that legacy here today. And if we look at the rest of the groups for the rest 2 days that we have in the round of 16, as you can see, we have tomorrow Sase, Lucifron, Nurtio, and MVP, the group of death, right?
Too true, the group of death. Any other group here? I mean, all the groups are strong in the round of 16. Don't get us wrong, but now having these 4 just Goliaths facing off against one another. Tomorrow is going to be on fire.
And then Friday, we have Feast, Amargo, Thorzane, and Stefano. It's just these next 2 days, I mean, every single day so far. Day 1 was good, day 2 was better, and it's just going to continue, I think. It has to, right?
Yeah, day 3, guys. You have to look out for day 3. This is going to be impressive.
All right, so that's us for a little recap over here. I think Red Eye's ready, so I'm going to pass it over to him. Take it away, Red Eye.
Thank you very much. A fabulous night of StarCraft 2. Would you expect anything else from the WCS Europe Premier League? Thank you also. A big round of applause, please, for Kalaris and Apollo. Brilliant. Okay. that is officially the end of the show this evening. Don't forget, we've got WCS Extra coming up with this rowdy lot just after 10 minutes' time. But that is it for the World Championship Series Europe Premier League for tonight. Group B was an absolute blast. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central European Time for more action from the World Championship Series Europe Premier League final. Don't miss it.